Well, we were talking about Avengers a minute ago. And of course, one of the OG Avengers was Scarlett Johansson's Black Widow, who tragically and heroically, self-sacrificially died in Endgame. Well, now she's coming back to the superhero world, but it ain't in Marvel. Because according to Variety, Scarlett Johansson is now in talks for Matt Reeves' and Robert Pattinson's The Batman 2. They write the following over at Variety. Scarlett Johansson is in negotiations to join the cast of The Batman Part 2, starring opposite Robert Pattinson's Caped Crusader. The DC Studios film, directed by Matt Reeves, is expected to begin shooting next spring for an October of 2027 release from Warner Brothers. The Batman opened in theaters in March 2022, so this thing will be like 5 years after the original, and grossed $772 million at the worldwide box office. Reeves and co-writer Matt Tomlin completed their script for the long-awaited sequel in June. Zoe Kravitz's Catwoman is not expected to return for the film, according to sources with knowledge of the production. All right. Let me address a side issue here first. Since this story broke yesterday, I've seen a lot of discussion online saying, well, I guess that's it. She's not coming back into Marvel. She's not going to be in the MCU. We're not going to see Black Widow again. I'm not saying that we will, but why does this myth still exist amongst film fans that if an actor is in one movie with one studio, they can't also be in another movie in another studio? That doesn't exist.
Flame on.
I mean, you can make the argument, yeah, but he left one and went to the other. I mean, that just doesn't exist.
No.
There is absolutely nothing stopping Scarlett Johansson from appearing in a DC movie or a Universal movie or a Lionsgate movie or any movie, and also coming back to reprise her role as Black Widow in a Marvel film if they want and if she wants. Again, I am not saying she's coming back for any of the new Avengers movies. I'm not saying she is, but I'm simply saying, guys, if she does, and it looks like she is going to be appearing in the Batman, that does not exclude her from coming back from Marvel at all. Okay, now with that out of the way, let's get to the second little elephant in the room. As always happens, some people are going to say, well, wait a minute, John, she's not in it. It says she's in talks, so maybe she won't be. That is technically true, but you have to understand that once it gets down to the point where they're now negotiating, that means the casting's done. You get to the point of negotiating once the studio's decided, yes, this is the actor we want, and the actor says, yes, I want to be in this. That means it's done. Now they're just working out the terms. Now, one time I remember, Rob, and maybe you can, I'm sure there have been others. The one time I can remember it hitting that stage where now, okay, they've decided, now they're in talks, was when Joaquin Phoenix backed out of being Doctor Strange. Because he also hit that point where they entered negotiations. But honestly, I think it's like 1 out of every 100 times. So I feel pretty comfortable at this point. Not that it's a guarantee, but I feel pretty comfortable at this point saying, as I do whenever we see reports like this, yeah, she's going to be in the Batman 2. Okay,
it depends what outlet's reporting it as well.
Yeah, and again, this one is Variety that's reporting. So that's as reliable as it gets. Yep. All right. Now, with that said, let's talk about it for a second. Number one, it is always a good idea to add talent. Scarlett Johansson is an Academy Award nominated actress. She's going to have Oscars on her mantle before her career is over. She is absolutely phenomenal. And she brings a cachet with her as well. She's Scarlett Johansson. She's one of the true big female movie stars in the world. Again, that doesn't mean every movie she's going to be in will make big box office automatically, but nobody's going to deny looking at Scarlett. She's a big major superstar. Okay. So adding her to this, and she's Oscar pedigree kind of material. This is fantastic. I mean, this is a terrific addition. Now, who could she be playing? One of the big names I've seen thrown around the most, including in our own chat before the show started, was Poison Ivy. I'll go on record right now. I don't believe it's going to be Poison Ivy.
No.
I'd be shocked because Poison Ivy is a supernatural character. And Matt Reeves' world is not a supernatural world. It just isn't. I don't see a fit. Now, I had a little discussion in the live chat before the show started. Somebody said, well, couldn't they adapt Poison Ivy and just say she's developed this plant-based poison? I say you can, but then that's not really Poison Ivy anymore. Like a Poison Ivy that literally cannot control plant life. That's kind of her main thing. So I don't think that's Poison Ivy anymore. Vicky Vale is one that gets brought up a lot. It's possible, but I don't think so. Some people thinking Phantasm. Also possible. I don't see that fitting in with Matt Reeves' universe either. You know, if I had Talia al Ghul's one that's been thrown around a lot.
That would be a good one.
That wouldn't be a bad one
I mean,
at
we
all.
saw her in Dark Knight. You know.
She can use her. And Scarlett Johansson's brought a lot of physicality to her various roles, so that would probably be a good thing. Harley Quinn, don't think so. Although Scarlett Johansson would be a pretty good Harley. She really would. Here's my guess. All right. My guess is none of the above. I honestly don't think she's going to be a stalwart comic book character. If anything, she might end up being a character that has appeared here or there in the comics. I'm betting she's going to be something like, I don't know, she's the interim CEO of Wayne Enterprises. Bruce Wayne isn't around much to actually run the company. The board has elected her. She's like a head or a character likened unto that. I don't think she's going to be a Batwoman. I don't think she's going to be a Barbara Gordon. I don't think she's going to be an Al Ghul, although I do kind of like that one. Kind of like that one. Here's one other potential. Of the Batman pantheon of villains, we've always said that one that would take just a very little bit of adaptation would be needed is Mr. Freeze. He's got an incredibly dramatic story. Obviously, the most heavy of the dramatic story elements of his are connected to Nora. Maybe she's Nora, and she plays more of a prominent role. I think the ultimate answer is none of the above. I think she's going to be like some kind of a heavyweight character that is not necessarily a comic book based or superpowered or superhero or supervillain character. So I don't know. We'll see. Guys, we want to take a second to thank a sponsor of today's video, BetterHelp. Hey guys, we are right now in the middle of the holiday season, and this is always the time of year when traditions take center stage. For me, one of the small traditions I've had for myself since I was a teenager is taking at least one night during the Christmas season to just spend completely by myself, to just reflect on the year that was and how I want to improve myself in the year that's coming. The holidays can be joyful, but they can also be stressful, overwhelming, even lonely. So if you're thinking about starting therapy or getting back into it, BetterHelp is a great way to begin. BetterHelp has fully licensed therapists who work under a strict code of conduct, and they do the matching work for you. The way it works is you fill out a short questionnaire. They use over 12 years of experience to match you with someone who fits your goals. And if it's not the right fit, you can switch anytime from their tailored recommendations. With over 30,000 therapists and more than 5 million people served, the platform's average live session rating is 4.9 out of 5 from more than 1.7 million reviews. So this December, start a brand new tradition by taking care of you. Our listeners get 10% off at betterhelp.com/Campea. That's betterhelp.com/Campea. Rob, I guess there are 3 questions here. Well, really 2. Let's go with 2. Number 1, do you like the addition of a Scarlett Johansson to a Batman? And then number 2, what theories do you have about who she could be playing?
Well, look, I've always loved Scarlett Johansson all the way back to Ghost World, which was one of her first comic adaptations. But look, I think you're really missing the obvious. I think that it's a gender-swapped Stevie Trevor.
Steve. Oh, combining all the rumors.
So the rumors are all true. You know, it's just they got him wrong.
Stevie Trevor.
Daniel got wrong. No, but
Is Stevie Trevor on the edge of 17?
Yeah.
On the edge of 17.
Or, you know, I was going to make a One Tree Hill joke, but I've already made too many of those today. I think that this also could be a new character.
Yeah.
That is created for the film itself.
100%.
I mean, we're always looking at things that have already been done. And I think one of the interesting things about the way, I mean, obviously with Batman, you have Commissioner Gordon, you have Batman, you have the Batman family that we've been seeing for a long time. But because of Matt Reeves's grounded real world perspective, I wouldn't be surprised if they've leaned into and they've created a new character that we don't know about that's going to have a lot of importance in Batman's life, or somehow interacting in a way that we might not have considered, simply because of the kind of movie it is. And it's, the problem when we talk about who these villains are, it's always the same 3 or 4 or 5 villains.
Yeah.
And there's so much rich history. I wouldn't be surprised if they've delved into Bat history and pulled out somebody really obscure that they have a great take on, that you can be like, oh yeah, this character appeared in, Batman Family 197 from 1963 or something like that. Look, I just made that up. I have no idea what that is. But you know what I mean? And it could be like that. And I could see Matt Reeves being the kind of filmmaker and writing and it would be a showpiece character. You're introducing somebody that's brand new that makes this series of films unique. And I would lean in that direction more than I would, Poison Ivy. Because just like you said, Poison Ivy is a supernatural character. And even Mr. Freeze is pushing it in this universe.
Yeah. I mean, again, it would take more minor adjustments because of the nature of it, because it's mostly science-based and whatever.
Yeah.
But you're right. Even that is a little bit of a stretch.
Because I love the portrayal. I love Zoe Kravitz's portrayal of Catwoman in The Batman.
I really liked her too. Yeah.
But if you look at the way that character was portrayed and her backstory, it fit that Batman universe.
Yes.
And so, look, I'm excited for Scarlett Johansson's edition, and I think whoever she's going to play, I'm excited she's there.
Now, I've seen some people in our own live chat also throwing out Wonder Woman. She's the new Wonder Woman. There are 2 problems with her being Wonder Woman. Number one is that while it's fine if they want to make this change, she's quite petite. She's a shorter girl, which is fine. That's great. But I mean, I don't think that's the way they're going to go. The bigger problem though with the idea of Scarlett playing Wonder Woman is that she's 41.
Right.
Again, which is fine to play Wonder Woman. But at the very beginning of the DC universe, they're looking to cast somebody as Wonder Woman who can be Wonder Woman for the next 10, 11, 12 years.
And they could have the Trinity grow together.
Yeah. And I don't think Scarlett, while Scarlett is perfectly good to play Wonder Woman for a year or two, I don't think you're going to want to have somebody playing Wonder Woman who's 55, right? And that's ultimately what she'll be by the time they stretch out. So I think they're probably going to look for somebody at most in their early 30s for somebody like that. But that still leaves a lot of juicy characters that Scarlett can be playing. And let's not throw out the idea that, one of the members of the Court of Owls or something like that. But again, I'm with you, Rob. I'm going to fall under the category of none of the above. I think it's going to be a brand new character. And again, I got nothing to base that on. This is just me guessing, just a guess. I have no insider information. Okay. I'm just guessing, but yeah, I think I like that idea. So, and her adding to this, listen, her and Robert Pattinson, again, Pattinson is one of the most sought after, talented actors right now of our generation. She, again, is Oscar caliber. My God, maybe she's just going to be the voice on the other end of the phone. She's going to be her all over again. She's Bruce Wayne's AI.
I want to see a sequel to her. I want that operating system to come back from wherever they went.
Anyway, guys, question is for you. What do you think about this? Number one, what do you think about Scarlett Johansson joining the DC universe, at least Matt Reeves' corner of it, and joining the Batman 2? And then secondly, what theories do you have about who she could be playing? Maybe you think like me that it's a none of the above, or there's a huge list of characters it could be. Maybe you think it's going to be one of those. Whatever you guys think, jump down into the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. Hey guys, thanks so much for watching this video. Make sure you like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to our channel. And don't forget, we have a daily podcast called the John Campea Show podcast, available on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your favorite podcasting app of choice. Go and subscribe to it today so it'll be there when you need it.